He is here after 70 kilometers of white nothingness, after defying biology, physics, and the screaming instincts of his own body, after walking through the valley of the shadow of death. He has arrived. The mountains are no longer a jagged line on the horizon. They are a wall. They block out the sky. They are massive, imposing, and ancient. He stands at the base. This is the moment the movie usually ends. The hero reaches the destination. The music swells. The credits roll. We assume that getting there is the point. We assume that the destination contains the reward. But life is not a movie, and the universe does not hand out medals for participation. Look at him, visual. The penguin stands motionless at the base of a rocky incline. He looks small against the dark stone. He is panting. His feathers are matted. He is running on fumes. He takes a step forward and touches the rock. It is cold. It is hard. It is inanimate. There is no welcome home sign. There is no hidden valley of fish. There is no secret colony of enlightened penguins waiting to applaud his courage. There is only rock and ice and wind. The silence here is different from the silence of the plains. The silence of the plains was the silence of absence. It was empty space waiting to be filled. The silence of the mountains is the silence of indifference. These rocks have stood here for millions of years. They will stand here for millions more. They do not care that a small, flightless bird walked across a continent to see them. They do not care about his struggle. They do not care about his rebellion. He has reached the altar of his God, only to find that the church is empty. This is the most dangerous moment in the human experience. Psychologists call it the arrival fallacy. It is the delusion that once I make it there, I will be happy. Once I get that promotion. Once I buy that house. Once I find my soulmate. Once I hit 1 million subscribers. We mortgage our present for a future payoff. We suffer through the colony, the boring jobs, the bad relationships, the daily grind, because we convince ourselves that the mountain is real. We convince ourselves that at the top of the mountain, the air is sweeter. We convince ourselves that the view will fix us. We treat happiness as a destination. We treat meaning as a coordinate on a map. And so we walk, we march, we sacrifice, and then we arrive, and we realize, with a sinking horror in our guts, that the view from the top is just a view. You are still you. The house is just wood and brick. The money is just numbers on a screen. The fame is just noise. The external world has changed, but the internal world remains exactly the same. The void you were trying to fill with the hike is still there, only now it feels bigger. Because you have run out of distractions, you have run out of goals. Imagine what the penguin is feeling right now. He projected everything onto these mountains. To him, they weren't just rocks. They were the anti-colony. If the colony was noise, the mountains must be peace. If the colony was slavery, the mountains must be freedom. He built a mythology around them. He worshipped a false idol. He thought that by changing his location, he could change his essence. But geography is not therapy. He stands there, freezing, starving, and exhausted, and the realization hits him: the mountain is a lie. It offers nothing. It cannot feed him. It cannot warm him. It cannot love him. It is just a place where things go to die. There is a specific kind of despair that comes from getting exactly what you wanted. Oscar Wilde wrote, "There are only 2 tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it." The second tragedy is far worse, because as long as you are walking toward the mountain, you have hope, you have purpose, you have the dream of the future. But once you touch the rock, hope dies. It is replaced by reality, and reality is often disappointing. This is the midlife crisis. This is the successful CEO who sells his company for millions, sits in his mansion, and puts a gun in his mouth. This is the rock star who plays to a stadium of 50,000 screaming fans, goes back to his hotel room and feels more alone than he did when he was playing in a garage. They reached the mountain, they saw the rocks, and they asked the terrifying question, "Is that it?" Is this what I suffered for? Is this what I left the colony for? Is this what I gave up my life for? Our penguin is facing the ultimate, is that it, moment. The physical pain of the journey is now compounded by metaphysical betrayal. He was promised, by his own instincts, by his own curiosity, that there was something more. But the universe is not designed to satisfy our narrative needs. The universe is chaos. He chased a symbol, and the symbol turned out to be hollow. He is a victim of his own romanticism. Most of us, if we were in his flippers, would break. We would scream, we would cry, we would try to run back to the colony, desperate to trade our freedom back for a little bit of comfort. We would say, I made a mistake, I was wrong, the system was right, I should have stayed in line, I should have kept marching in circles. Regret is the poison that kills the rebel. Regret is the voice that says safety was worth the price of your soul. But look at him, visual, close-up of the penguin. The wind is whipping his face. He blinks slowly. He does not turn around. He isn't screaming. He isn't panicking. He isn't looking back toward the ocean. He is looking up. Here is the twist that the scientists missed, the twist that the tragedy narrative misses. He isn't disappointed. He is at peace. Why? Because he didn't come here to live. He came here to find out that there is a profound difference. If he came here expecting a resort, yes, he failed. But if he came here to know the truth of the world, to see the edge of the map, to touch the boundaries of his existence, then he succeeded. He realized that the mountain was empty, yes, but he also realized that the colony was empty. The difference is that the colony lied about its emptiness. The colony pretended to be full of noise, full of movement, full of life. The mountain is honest. It doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is, cold, hard, and silent. And there is dignity in that honesty. There is a strange, cold comfort in staring into the abyss and having the abyss stare back without blinking. He has stripped away every illusion. He is no longer a member of the flock. He is no longer a biological machine. He is a consciousness witnessing the raw, unfiltered reality of nature. He has achieved what the Buddhists call sunyata, emptiness. He has emptied himself of expectation. He has emptied himself of fear. He has emptied himself of the future. All that is left is the now, the biting wind, the grey sky, the towering rock. He is fully present. For the first time in his life, he is not waiting for anything. He is not marching toward anything. He is simply being. The tragedy is ours, not his. We see him and think, oh, poor thing, he's going to die. We pity him because he lost the game of survival. But he pities us because we are still playing it. He pities us because we are still terrified of the end. He has walked up to the end, shook its hand, and accepted it. We are taught that a journey is only successful if you return with the treasure. The hero's journey structure demands the return. The hero goes out, fights the dragon, gets the gold, and comes back to the village to improve the community. But this is not a hero's journey. This is a mystic's journey. The mystic doesn't come back. The mystic transcends. The treasure wasn't the mountain. The treasure was the walk. The treasure was the 70 kilometers of autonomy. The treasure was the decision. Every step he took was a claim of ownership over his own life. Even if that life was short, even if that life ended in ice, it was his ice. He chose his suffering, and in a world where almost everything is chosen for us, our names, our religions, our economic class, our genetics, choosing your own suffering is the ultimate act of power. He didn't find a paradise, he found a grave. But it is a grave with a view, and he chose the view. He climbs a little higher, his movements are slow. The energy is gone, the biological clock is ticking its final seconds. He finds a spot, a small alcove in the rocks, sheltered slightly from the wind. He stops. He doesn't lay down yet. He stands, looking out over the path he walked. He can see the white void stretching back toward the ocean. He can see the colony. It's too far away, but he knows it's there. He knows they are still marching, still squawking, still surviving. He arrived at the mountains and found the end. Most people see this as a tragedy, a biological error, a glitch in the matrix. But what if I told you that Actually, this penguin won. His death wasn't an accident, it was a masterpiece. He died. Yes, but in the next video, we will discuss why his death was more full of life than the survival of 10,000 others. Better to walk alone toward your own end than to march forever in circles with someone you are not. This was the lesson of the Nihilist Penguin, and it is the lesson we are all too afraid to learn. See you in the final chapter.